Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu training demands a tremendous amount of power, endurance, and technique. The competition is tough, and you need every possible advantage. To be victorious on the mat, you must push your skills to the highest level by using complete mind and body control. Mario Roberto's BJJ Specialist. Take your grappling to the next level by learning sick stuff like the back triangle, an outstanding yet rarely taught move that's sure to catch your opponents blindsided. The bear trap. The best move is the one they don't see coming. Let the bear trap become your calling card. The S-mount. Finally, a mount attack system that baffles even skilled opponents. Blast right through their defense. The base position. Slice through your opponent's guard like a hot knife through butter. Become a BJJ specialist. Get straight to the point instruction. Use new, rarely seen techniques. Surprise your opponents with high percentage moves that work. See results right away. Mario Roberto is by far second to none, says UFC veteran Tommy the Farm Boy Spear. Mario Roberto has helped me tremendously, says UFC veteran Travis View. Get each set individually for $49 or get all 4 sets for the price of 3 at $147. These DVDs are guaranteed to blow your mind, so don't put it off. Get it now.
show is the Russian tie. And this comes from a collar tie from the opponent. Okay, and a lot of times we're going to be in here tight, a lot of times we'll be out in the open. What I'm going to do is work my outside arm up into his armpit, and I'm going to start shrugging my shoulder and looking away. And as I do that, I slide off of the collar tie and grab his wrist. Okay? In wrestling, this is this is a stall tactic, or it's an offensive maneuver, okay, an offensive hold or dominant hold. I can use this for a lot of different things, or I could stall like hell with it because the guy can't do anything back to me. There are about 2 options he can do, and if I know what they are, it's easy to stop him. Okay, so in martial arts, I recommend using only a couple of the moves that I could show you because they're quick. You want to get rid of this right away. You want to use it right away because he has a free hand that you could get struck with, and you don't have a free hand to block with. So first thing I recommend is get your head back behind his head. Okay, so we call it in wrestling, you want to have head position, and sometimes it's hard to move your head back here without feeling awkward. The other thing you can do is pull him forward and get your shoulder behind his shoulder. If your shoulder's behind his shoulder and you pull his forearm to your chest and lean down, it's going to be really hard for him to get any kind of angle with his far shoulder to strike you. Okay, that's the very first thing you want to do. So you get a Russian tie, you're leaning in, grab your tie, you're going to take the arm and sort of push it away from you for a second and slide your shoulder back. So you're going to look like that. Now my shoulder's behind his. And because it's behind his, if I lean down, it pushes him down. And it's going to make it hard for him to do any kind of striking. So if Dave stands back up, here's the first move I'm going to show. It's called a snap down. Okay, a Russian arm tie to a snap down. I'm going to jump on his foot. Okay, I'm going to jump on his foot with my back leg, and I'm going to slide my right leg out and throw him to the mat. Okay, so I'm using his one arm. Okay, I'm going to get my position here on my shoulder. I'm going to use his one arm to pull him down. And my first arm to let go is my left one. My second one to let go is the right one. So once I pull him down, I step on his foot. Okay, so I do a little slide step here, there, pull. I let go, I grab his far hip, and then I let go and come behind his arm. Okay? This is a very common wrestling move for an easy takedown. It's 0 risk. There's nothing the guy can do to counter me that will allow him to score on me. He can counter and not let me score, but it's very hard for him to generate any kind of offensive off of this. Okay? Get position, and that's a very subtle little thing. Let's look from back. Okay, my shoulder right now is on his bicep, okay, down here. And what I want to do is push his arm forward to get my shoulder back behind his armpit. I want to be back here on his scapula. Okay, so if you see his body, I want my shoulder there, not down here. Down here, I'm only on the arm. He can turn his chest very much towards me, and that's dangerous because I could get struck. So I push his shoulder away, hook up on top of the deltoid, and really hold myself tight behind his shoulder and lean in. And that should stop him. Can you turn forward very much? If you do, it's going to be a lighter strike.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the other thing that I want to do is use this quick. So I get this, push it away, get my shoulder position, push him down, and I'm behind. Okay? That's one of the 3 moves I recommend from here. Another, okay, right when I get it, shoulder position. Another one of the 3 moves is a high single leg attack. Okay, and I'm going to attack this near leg with my top arm first. So in other words, I'm going to push his wrist forward, lower my level, but not to my knees. Okay, I'm going to slide my shoulder underneath his armpit. My neck is going to come down to his bicep. Okay, and in doing that, I'm going to weight down on him. So we're here in this position. I push his arm forward, slide to here. My top arm comes right around his knee, and now I'm going to push. I don't try to lift this up. Don't attempt to let go or anything. Hold the wrist, hook the knee, and then push. His leg will come right up in your arms. So we're here, drop down, hook, start pushing, and then I lift that leg up into my inside armpit. Okay? Once I get this, I like to hook his arm. If he starts fighting my hands, I'll hook his opposite hand. Okay? In other words, if he attacks that hand, I'll rehook his hand so now he can't let go and catch his balance. Okay, and as I do that very quickly, I mean, he'll get it out eventually if he really tries, but the second I hook it, I'm going to back trip him and then come off to the side. Okay?
Can you do just that one again?
What's that?
Can you do just that one again?
Just the trip part?
Yeah.
Okay. You got the Russian. Slide down to your neck's in his shoulder. Hook his leg. Push. pull his leg up to your inside armpit, which means that the leg is across your belly. This is the outside. Leg up on the outside means the leg goes straight under your armpit. Okay? This one's not as good, because when I finish, I'm going to land in the guard. So I have a different finish for you guys from this one. Okay, but when it's up on the inside, I like to take, I got the leg on my left arm, I like to take my left leg, kick out that leg back there, boom, and circle towards the head. Okay? Last one from here, the guy collar ties. I pull the Russian arm tie off, get my shoulder position. Okay, and I kind of sense this guy doesn't really know what's going on here with this Russian tie because he may not have been in it before. A lot of wrestlers aren't very comfortable in Dave's position right here. So if that happens, I like to take advantage of the lowest risk opportunity here, which is an arm drag. All I'm going to do is climb up this guy's arm like a rope. So I have one hand here, I have one hand here. I'm going to take this hand, let go, climb up as far as I can. Okay, so what it looks like is this from the back. The Russian, my top hand stays, my bottom hand lets go, moves way up high, makes a hook. And now all I'm going to do is pull that down for a drag. It's really subtle, but it works really well. Okay, you got the guy right here in his bicep, right here on his wrist. Okay, reach up, pull down, and type his bar hook. Okay, one more time, I'll do it right from the beginning. Pull him off, get shoulder position, and right there, and before you know it, I'm behind him. Watch what my head does. Okay, I'm kind of shucking him by with my head, and then I put my head behind his back. Okay, those are 3 moves that work really fast off of a Russian arm tie that I would recommend using. The last one, I am going to show one more because we already learned it. It's a Polish. Okay, and this will happen 9 out of 10 times in high school wrestling. You get a Russian arm tie, that guy's going to square up his feet and try to face you, and he's going to push on your face. Okay, I'm going to push my head away, that's it. Alright, so in this position, it's tough to attack. But if I use a couple of real fancy little techniques, I can kind of throw him in a straitjacket here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to step in, and as he's pushed, go, push pretty good, Dave. It's good. So I step in and I lift my chin up over his wrist. And as you look, and I kind of made that up all by myself, and it works unbelievably well. But I don't know how I came across it. One of my coaches showed me to hit a Polish from this position, and I started doing it, and just the natural movement of my head was up and over, and it started guiding the guy's hands just like this. And I'm going to catch Dave just like that, and then I'm going to Polish him with his arms crossed across his chest. It works pretty awesome. So I step in, lift my chin up, catch him right here, and if your arm goes right across where his arm is, he can't get his arm out. And I step around the back and sit in a chair, boom, and pop. Okay, and so when I throw Dave, his arm's basically like this, and he can't post anything, he can't fight with anything. And that works really well. A lot of times when you hit a Russian tie, the first thing they do is square up and post. So if he posts, boom, and then I hit my throw, whoop, and his arms are crossed just across his chest. A lot of times it'll knock the wind out of the guy a little bit too because he lands so heavy. Okay? The next little series that I want to do here is how to attack a guy's legs without dropping to your knees. So it seems like a lot of the guys in the seminar today were interested in and enjoyed some of the moves that led them to a single leg or a double leg where they didn't have to shoot from the open like this and risk getting kneed in the face on the way in. So what I'm going to go over now is some different ties and some different holds that the guy might take and different ways to get to his leg without ever dropping down to your knee. So one that we already did is called a post off. Okay, and it's when the guy reaches for your collar, or if he reaches just out, a lot of times guys will want to get a gauge for how far away you are, so they go like this. Now if you have quick hands, okay, when that guy goes to get a feel for how far away I am, I can grab his wrist, okay, and I grab his elbow, and I'll post this thing off and in front of my face. As I post it off, I squat down into a position that I can strike from. I keep saying strike, shoot from. Okay, so I pull it off like this, and what I want to do here is now finish with a guide by. So I'm going to use this upper arm to jam that thing across Dave's chest. My lower arm lets go of his wrist and comes to the inside of his knee. And at this point, it's simply a football move. It's a tackle. I'm going to take this forearm and this bicep, and I'm going to jam him in the ribs and try to push all his weight. I'm going to try to make him hop on his far leg. If I do that, the near leg will pop up into my arms. Okay, so he posts. I grab him, I pull off. This hand pushes here, and now my forearm and my bicep and my tricep are going to hit right there. Okay, this hand comes in here, boom, and I try to push him. Okay, in that case, I got lucky, and Dave fell. Most of the time, he'll hop. Okay, now that he felt it once, he's probably going to react and hop this time. And boom, okay, push. And now I wind up with his leg up on the inside again. Okay, so we go back to that finish where we sweep. All right? He posts. I grab his elbow and his wrist, pull it to the front, and hop down. Okay, and from here I'm driving off my back leg, shouldering into him, right behind his armpit. Boom! Push him away, lift his leg up. Okay? If you ever want to get to a guy's backside from this position, instead of tripping him to his back, you want him to go to his belly, slide up a little bit till he grabs your head. And when he grabs your head, you just take his hand, push it towards his head, circle backwards around his butt. And you'll get him to go to his belly. Okay? Let's try it one more time there, Dave. Ready? Post off, down in the front, boom, bump him. Get him up here, let him lean on your head, pull him down to his belly. Okay? Let's see. Another move guys will do is post on your face. Okay? And a lot of times in wrestling, guys do this. From here, you can do the exact same move we just showed. And it sort of looks like this. Okay? Just to show you that that works from those positions. Anytime he posts head or shoulder, you can post off. Okay? The next one I'm going to do.
Can you do the last one again, please?
One more time?
Yeah.
Post in the face. I'm going to grab elbow and wrist, post it off, shoulder into him, lift up and finish, circle towards the head.
All right.
Next thing we're going to do is some short drags. Okay, so a short drag is a drag. It's a maneuver where the guy grabs your wrist or you grab his. It doesn't matter. If he grabs your wrist here, it's real easy. You kind of go against that opening between his fingers and his thumb. And you pop his hand off, and you turn your wrist this way and slide it out. Okay, so you're going to kind of make it like a knife. Turn your radial bone towards that opening. See it's starting to pop out already? And slide. That all happens this fast. Okay? Hold on it tight. And it comes right off. Now, what I got to do after that, and this has to happen fast as well, is I pull that off, boom, and now I'm going to pull this wrist and switch my arms back. And I drop my neck right to his elbow. This is going to yank him down. Okay, I want to pull him down to make that leg heavy so I can grab it without it moving. Once I grab it, I push across to make it light so I can lift it up. Okay, so he's here, I pop him off, pull it down, grab his leg, start pushing over, he hops, and I lift that leg up again. He's on my head, so I'm going to push him that way this time. Right here in the tricep or in the armpit, push his hand towards his head, circle backwards. Okay? Again. I'm from. He has the wrist. It's a long day, man. It's a long day. He has the wrist. I'm going to pop his wrist sideways, turn my thumb downward, slide my hand out, boom. I pull it this way, go around. Okay, my neck comes down to his elbow. And I see how my feet cut him in half there. I'm standing square in front of him when this happens. What I want to do is get an angle. So I pull this way, and then I hop to the side. Now my body is totally focused on one leg. and he can only fight me off to this side. So this arm's out of the picture. Okay, hook that leg. And what I like to do is hook it with my arm like that. Don't grab things so much, hook them. It works a lot better. Arm is straight. Now, I don't want to pull my head down towards that leg. I just want to hook it. Heads up, drive in. Table the leg, which means set it right here. Okay, as I drive in, I make a table, and then I squat down to it to lift his leg up and have it directly in my armpit right away. Okay? Instead of tripping, if you ever want a guy to go to his belly, instead of tripping him to his belly, find another way. If I trip a guy like this, he can grab my leg. He can see it coming. He can hop forward over it. There's too many different counters. If he doesn't give you a way to put him on his belly, you got to trip him to his back. In other words, if he goes like this, now I can push this to his belly, and I can circle backwards. If he doesn't do something like this, I trip him back. There's one more way that I can get him to his belly. If I'm way down on his ankle, I can lift his knee up and then come underneath his knee and turn his knee down. Okay? And that works best. Sorry, Dave, I got you on one leg real long here.
Okay.
That works best if you circle backwards really fast with it. Okay, so I got the guy's leg up. I lift his knee up, push it down, and circle backwards. And when I circle backwards, it will yank his base out from underneath him and winds up flat on his belly. Okay? Sorry about that. Okay, so we got a short drag now from him being on my wrist. Just to emphasize the point that it doesn't matter if he's on my wrist or if I'm on his wrist, I can grab his wrist on my own and do the exact same thing. A lot of people think that, well, they say, my high school wrestlers say to me all the time, why do I have to grab it with this wrist first and then hand it off? Why can't I just reach out, grab the guy's leg here or arm here and do the move? My answer to them is basically, when you reach across, you give yourself up a little bit. So in other words, if I reach a diagonal across his body like this, I'm opening myself up a little too much for my comfort zone. So what I like to do is hit his hand across into my hand. Okay? Besides the fact of opening myself up, the more little transitions I do with my hand, the more I lose him. The more he won't know what's going on. And if I do it fast, he'll just be totally confused of what just happened. So if I have a guy in a stance here, right, and I take his hand and I go like that, all I did was smack his hand into my other hand and start my move. But as a result of doing that, he might not comprehend what just happened, and the next time we get on our feet, I could do it over again. Now, if he's on his stance and I reach across and grab his arm and start pulling it and go for the shot, he's going to see that pretty clearly, and next time you go for it, he'll stop it from happening. So it's good to do things quick, and it's good to do things that mislead people. So in this case, what I'm going to do, we're standing up on our feet here, getting an upright stance like a little MMA action. What I'm going to do is guide his hand into my other wrist, just like this. Watch. Catcher, boom. Drive into him and lift that up. Hands up on the shoulder. I'm going to push this down. Circle backwards. Oops, sorry. You're all right, no problem. And get him on his belly. Okay? You want to break? Okay. One more time. His hand's up in this position. Hit his hand downward. If his hand's down in this position, hit his hand across. Okay, there are so many different ways to do an arm drag, it's unbelievable. And even if the guy's hand is up here, I can arm drag. Okay, I do a downward and inward chop like this. Okay, so my hands go like that. If his hand is upward and outward on my arm, I do it like that. Okay, so pretty much anywhere he puts his hand, I can hit a drag. It's all about hand speed though. Okay, when you get to a higher level, what'll happen is when you go for a drag, you're gonna realize people are gonna start pulling that arm back real hard, and they're gonna pull that leg back as well. Because what you're trying to do is get around that side. So what Dave did there was took the angle away from me. So at like an upper wrestling level, okay, or even jiu-jitsu, if people start to catch on to this at practice and stuff, what you want to do is start to attack the opposite angle when they react to the drag. So an example would be if Dave does what he just did there. Let's say that he's got his hand out and I go for the slap drag. He pulls his leg back. I'm just going to hit what I call a straight single to the far leg, okay? So in other words, I'm gonna hit a fake drag. The drag is a kind of like a, let's say I tried it on Dave 3 times already this match, and I got it the first time, but now he's starting to thoroughly catch on to it. So I go for it, he pulls it back. All I do is step behind his leg so that his leg is in between mine. That way I have a lot of power to lift it, like a deadlift. I'm gonna step behind his leg, my head stays up, my arms lock, and I'm gonna push towards his free leg. Okay? When I push towards his free leg, it gives me the opportunity to back up and lift his foot up. Okay? I push his weight over there, so that leg carries all the weight, not me. If I leave his hips into me, I'm gonna carry all the weight. So a way to get rid of his weight here is shove him, and then pick his leg up. A lot of times people say to me, Coach, I keep getting the guy's leg up, but I can't finish because he's too heavy on me. All you gotta do is push him a little bit, get his weight to, get him to hop. As soon as he hops, back up and lift his leg. You can even do a finish called treetops. We call it treetops anyway. Let's say I do this whole move again, I'm gonna do a treetop finish this time. And it's where I sky Dave's legs. I'm gonna fling his legs up in the air. Okay? So let's say his hand's out about this way. I'm gonna snap his hand downward, catch his wrist, try for the drag that we were working before, let go, step behind this leg, hands come around, and I pick it up. Okay? Now this time, I'm gonna try to finish, and Dave's giving me a little bit of trouble, but I can get to here. Okay, but he's leaning on me, he's heavy, he's pulling on my head and stuff and being annoying. So what I'm gonna do is push him back so that he hops, and now I'm gonna finish a golf swing to the left. You good?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, and what you do there is you get the guy to extend himself, and then you finish like a golf swing, just like that, to the opposite direction. So I make him hop this way, boom, and you sky, you just put his legs in the treetops, both legs will fly out and his head will go down. Okay? Good?
Yep.
Is it cool if I ask you to do that one again?
What's that?
Is it cool if I ask him to do that one again?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. From the beginning,
Yeah, just throw him up.
just pick the leg up and do
Yeah.
it?
Just do the whole move. The move.
The whole
just
thing?
yeah, the whole move. Yeah.
Okay. Got a guy's hand out in front of me, or even, let's do down this time. Alternate a little bit here. Okay, I'm gonna go for an arm drag to a single, he pulls back. I'm gonna come to this leg. Okay, here we go, we'll do a regular speed. Okay, and that was realistic. Because the first time I pushed Dave, he started to fall. So when I did the treetops, he didn't sky, he didn't go up very high.
Yeah.
Because you're already kind of going down.
I was kind of thinking it was coming. So.
Yeah, right, exactly. And it works better if you're not falling. That's the good thing about the move. So if he doesn't fall, whew, those legs will go flying through the air.
Okay. I'll be less dramatic.
No, that's good. That was good. That was good. What I want to do now is a couple things where what I'm going to do is have him put his hands in different places. Okay, so we did a couple drags from the wrist. We did some stuff where he was extended, but now we're going to get in closer. So it's going to be tough to get your shots because my face will be buried a lot of times, like in a realistic situation. So if you can't hear me, let me know. If you got to get closer, let me know. Or
Cool. I'll come closer.
Okay, so I'll pop my head out and talk sometimes too. So the next thing I want to do is when you get in a tight situation, like an actual collar tie up, double collar tie type of situation, you break that tie. A lot of times it helps to break that tie and go directly into something. Otherwise you wind up right back in the same tie 10 seconds later. So Dave, grab something. Okay, that's good. Dave grabbed an underhook and a collar tie. So the first thing I want to do is I want to get rid of one of the two. Okay, in this case, I like overhooks, but they're not really good to be in. So I'm gonna suggest that you guys get rid of the overhook. So the way I would do this, he's got a collar tie. We're in pretty tight. Okay, I'm gonna take my hand in here and stick it right. Pick your head up 1 second, Dave. Right there. Okay, and now when we put our heads back down, this is what it looks like. Looks like nothing. Okay, but I got my hand right on his shoulder. And the reason I'm pushing on his shoulder, if I want to get something away, I not only pull what I want to get away, but I have to push on whoever's holding that thing. So I'm going to push on his shoulder, and then I'm going to pick my hand up and bring it down through that hole. Okay? Now here's what it looks like again. Push on his shoulder, and you may want to look from this angle. Got my hand up here, I'm pushing on his shoulder, pick my hand up, and bring it down. Okay? Now, when you do something like that, you just countered something that the guy had. So right away, you got him in a position that he doesn't like it. It's good to keep going off of that. So I'm just going to, in this situation, I feel like I'm in a position where this isn't a move that I memorized, but this is a sequence that I just saw right in front of me, so I'm going to share it. What I would do is get that out of there, step in for a single leg, and tap that guy's knee to make him think that I'm pulling out of the underhook and attacking a single. And when he pulls back, I'm going to hit. I'm going to bump his collar tie over here, and I'm going to execute like a high inside reach single on the opposite leg. So here's what it looked like. The guy's got a collar tie and an underhook. I'm going to ignore the collar tie because it's not an immediate threat. I'm going to post up on his shoulder from across. Okay? I lift my arm up and over my own hand, slide it down. Okay? And now from here, I'm going to attack this leg. And when he reacts, that's going to set him up for the other leg. See, I didn't move, he didn't move. He pulled his foot back. That leg is easily within reach if I bend my knees a little bit. So what I'm going to do is post this arm. Okay? Post this arm across towards his face, boom, and step in and grab his leg. Okay, and then we go back to all those finishes that we've been going over. Okay, so again, this is a more complicated one because I'm countering his tie. I'm faking a shot and using that as a misdirection, and I'm going to the other side. This is something that would work in NCAAs in a semifinal match or a final match in the NCAA finals. Okay, this will definitely work on jiu-jitsu guys as long as they react to that shot. Okay, a wrestler definitely would pull their leg back. So he's got an underhook and he's got a collar tie. I'm going to reach across. Oh, sorry about that. I'm going to reach across and post on his shoulder. Okay, I bring my arm up and over my hand and slide it down. Okay, and then after I do that, I fake that shot. When I fake that shot, any fake that you do has to be quick and deliberate. Otherwise, it's going to look like this. And his reaction will look like that, nothing. Okay, you have to fake with your whole body, your head, your feet. When I do fakes, I jump my feet. Okay, it makes a little noise and it startles the guy. A lot of times in wrestling, people watch your hips, your knees, and your feet and your hands. They look down. They don't look so much at your head. So it doesn't matter where I'm looking a lot of times. It matters what they see move. So if I just cleared this underhook, okay, he was in here and slid my arm down there. If they see me do that, they're going to react. I guide my hand towards where I'm faking so that he knows what to pull back. He reacts. Now, he still had a collar tie. He reacts. I take that collar tie. I bump it up like I'm doing a Russian arm tie. This direction towards his face. Push it. Boom. And lift his leg up. Okay? So let's do that in a decent speed. Do it at a decent clip and not too fast. Okay? Because I'm getting tired. So he has an underhook. Come inside here. Clear, fake, and that time I dropped to a knee. I got a little bit lower, so I skimmed off my knee and came right up. Okay, that's a natural habit for a wrestler, but you don't want to stay down there. Okay, if you hit a knee, tap it, come right back up to your feet so you have power. Okay? Next, another position, Dave. Ooh, go ahead. Okay, we worked in this position a little bit before. There's a throw that's itching right now. I'd pull right here on his arm. Okay, I'd guide him this way. And then I'd hop in for an arm throw. You getting tired yet?
Getting there. And Matt's getting tired.
Yeah, we're gonna wear a hole. We're gonna wear a hole right here. So, Dave, go back to that collar tie. Yep. If the guy has a collar tie, he's giving you the top of his arm. And if I grab this and pinch, pull your arm out of there, Dave.
It's pretty stuck.
It's stuck. It's really good pull. It's a good whip on there. So if I guide him and wind his hips up, in other words, when we're in this position, if I want to do an arm throw, I want to be here with my hips. I want him all the way around me. So I'm going to get him to kind of meet me halfway. In other words, I'm going to pull him around me a little bit. And I'm just not going to circle with him. So instead of doing that, I'm going to pull him and I'm going to step in. And now I have him two arms pinching on that arm. And I'm going to pull and look up between his legs. And as I do that, I'm going to start to fall to my right. Okay? When I think I'm falling, that's when I pop my legs. Okay? So I'm falling, pop, and it throws him. Okay, from this position, Fadi showed me a little finish that I like. So I'm gonna push this arm down and come up underneath here. Boom. And go for my little north-south choke, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yes. I'm learning. We're gonna do a snap down first, okay, and then we'll do front headlock position. We were say it, you either snap the guy down to this, or he took a shot and he failed on the shot. So the guy has a collar tie. All right, we're in this position where he's pinching and I'm pinching and everything else. Okay, there are a bunch of different things you can do here. One of them is snap the guy down. If you grab a guy's head with one arm, it's hard to snap him because he can move his neck. But if you isolate his head by grabbing the back of his head and grabbing underneath his chin, now you locked around his head. He can't move, he can't get his head out. In other words, I'm here and I'm here. Okay, and by doing this, I can pull his head really well because I won't slip off the top. A lot of people try to snap by doing this and you slide. So now college wrestlers have started coming around with a club, okay, and coming underneath and receiving the chin in the bottom arm. Once you grab that, you can whip that guy's face right down to the mat. Unbelievably powerful. He can't do anything. If he tries to pull on your arms, it's like, it basically all it does is take his post away. When you pull him down, his hand's occupied, so he won't be able to post. So get ready to post your hands here, Dave. I'm gonna pull you down pretty good. Okay. Just by pulling on his chin and the back of his head, you can whip that guy right underneath you. Okay? So, and this comes from a collar tie. So he collar ties me, I collar tie him, we're in this position. You're probably thinking, how are you going to get to that position from here? Well, what I would do is I would take my head and turn it towards his to make a hole here. And I would punch this other arm in because I like the front headlock with my right hand under. So I'm going to switch my collar tie. I'm going to beat him inside, basically. He has a collar tie over here, okay? And what I'm going to do is face him so that I can get my arm inside of his. And I'm going to pass his head off to this side. Once I pass his head off to that side, my original collar tie slides underneath. Believe it or not, this is worse for pulling a guy down than this one. This one will pull him down better because he can't duck his head anymore. So you hold onto his chin, you hold onto his neck, and you're going to whip him in a direction of, like if his leg is back right there, I'm going to pull him this direction to try to take advantage of this opening where that back leg is. Okay? So I'm going to pull, boom, and that back leg comes around. I got him into what we call in wrestling a front headlock. Okay? In MMA, this is sort of resembles a failed shot attempt. Okay, a lot of times guys try a double leg. Go ahead and take a double leg there, Dave. Okay, if Dave takes a double leg and I post away from him from his hips and I slide my hips back and sprawl effectively, I'm going to wind up in a position where the guy failed his shot and I can take advantage of it. I learned from a Russian named Sergei Beloglazov a move that's pretty fancy here and it's pretty cool. And I've used that practice a whole bunch, and only in a couple matches, but you can't do it in college wrestling, really.
Is it not allowed? Or?
No, it's not that it's not allowed. It's that you don't get in a position to do it. In Greco wrestling and freestyle wrestling is where it would be very effective, because in freestyle and Greco, guys will stay down there and worry more about you locking a front headlock and throwing them for multiple points than they will about getting taken down. In college, guys don't worry about getting choked out or thrown. They worry about getting scored on. So they're going to be moving all over the place trying to circle out of there. Okay? In MMA, guys are going to prevent the guillotine. So one way to totally disarm them is to let go of their head and lock around their chest. Okay, so if I have his neck here and he's all worried about it, he's fighting my hands, I just let go and lock around his chest. And when I do this, I'm over both of his triceps. Okay, and what I can do is come all the way deep with one arm and lock by his other elbow. Okay, or his armpit right here. Okay, when I do this, my lock looks like this. So I want to make an L. I want to make a right angle so that I can trap that arm right there on the ground. And I'm going to put all my weight onto that. Okay, so let's say, Dave, you start up. Go ahead and start up on your hands. Okay, I got his chin. He's worried about, okay, I come over top and I lock right here. Now, put all my weight on it and I trap it to the ground. Okay, now his other side, you're going to want to go around this side. His other side is where the key comes in next. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit to that hip. Okay, my left hip is going to tilt downward, and I'm gonna try to walk my hips outside of this arm. So I got him to his elbow. Go ahead and post that arm up again if you want. Just sit like this. Okay? I'm gonna walk, and then I'm gonna take a real big step over the top of his back and hook his spark up with my right leg. Okay, and I'll get the guy on his back. Both of his arms are trapped. It's fairly tight. It's not gonna choke him, but if I let go, I'm in a position where, you know, I got both of his arms controlled. Okay, let's do this again, Dave. Let's tuck you tuck your shirt in, I'll tuck mine a little tighter. It's a hard move to see where the arms are. Okay, so I got a front headlock. Let's say I just pulled him down. Okay, one way to disarm the guy here is let go, come over and lock, slide your lock to this side. So you got all this pressure on that elbow. Can you feel that, Dave? Mm-hmm. Okay, now I'm gonna scoop down this way, walk. Once he falls, step over. Okay, is it tight? Yep.
Got a good
Let's do one more. Whoops.
chiropractic adjustment there too.
What's that?
Got a little adjustment there too.
Crack.
Felt good.
All right. Go here, try to post up. If you could, just give me like 50%. Try to stay up.
Okay.
Let's go here. All right. Once you get in this position, you got pretty much everything controlled. So it's a good position to be in. I would like this position if I were fighting.
Good one.
You like that?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do a couple more here. I'll show you how to get a guy to his back. Okay, from a front headlock or a failed shot attempt. Okay, if the guy comes in on a shot, a lot of times you can get your legs back and you grab his chin. Okay, one of the things that they're gonna do, if they're smart, is grab your hands right away. If they grab your hand off the chin, it stops you from any kind of front headlock move for the most part. But what I want to do is get that chin fast, because once I have it, it's hard for me to peel my hand off. Keep your fingers tight together, keep your thumb close to your finger. You don't want to grab and have your thumb hanging out so it can get ripped off or whatever, because it's survival mode for that bottom guy. Especially if you get them in a choke situation, they'll grab and peel anything they can to not go out. Okay, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try a straight cement job, okay, which is a move that we do a lot in the Lehigh Valley. And what happens typically on a cement job, I have his chin right away, okay, my elbow's tight to my body, and I come underneath his bicep or his armpit. Okay, and on a straight cement job, what I'm going to do is use my body, not my arms. Okay, so I'm going to lift like it's an underhook and step up underneath this guy. Okay, and my goal is to try to lift this arm high enough that I can get across his back with my arm. And I'm going to drive off this leg and whip him down. So here I have a really, really torquing cement job, we call it, or basically a half Nelson finish. But look at his head. See how twisted his head is? That's going to be key. If the guy's head is straight, he's fairly comfortable. If he finds one little nook or cranny to breathe in and get some air, he's going to be okay. If his head is crooked and I just start peeling his head upward, he's going to want to tap just on his neck twisting alone. Yep. Okay? So, thanks, sorry about that.
That's okay.
Got to show it down. Okay? That is one cement job that you can do. And a lot of times people get that cement job, in Northampton in particular, is a high school that their coach was a college NCAA national champion. His name was Don Roan, and he was really, really good at a cement job, teaching a cement job, and kind of adjusting it to learn new ways. So what he did is, when guys would shoot, he'd tell his kids to get a front headlock and start to circle behind. And in wrestling, if I circle behind like this, I get 2 points. So what Don told his kids was, circle behind, but keep this arm down. And don't let the guy see it. So they would keep this arm like this. They'd start to circle, and that guy would post up. And the second they reach up to block, so that you can't circle, those kids would have their arm, right, boom, and they would whip that right across. Finishing is another thing I noticed Northampton kids are great at. They're great at getting the fall. Okay, and what they do here is they use their legs. Okay, they'll lift, they'll dig, they'll get their knee up and under, And they want to get that guy's arms out and tucked to their head so they can't use them to block anything. Okay, so for example, I got that bottom arm trapped now. If that bottom arm is down, he could push away my knees, he can move that arm around, he could be annoying. Okay, I don't want that arm in the picture. I'll take my knee, shove it by his armpit, scoop, and then pick this knee up. Now the other arm is a piece of cake, because you can't really do much with it other than maybe get in my face. So what I'll do is push that across with my head and hold it here. Now when I hip down, I create a pretty tight package. Both his arms are right to it. You all right? You're breathing? Both his arms are right to his head. And so what I'll do is one of two things. I'll try to cover his face. If his chin slips and his head is facing me, okay, like that, I'll cover his face. And I'll pinch and I try to cover his mouth and his nose with my ribs. Okay? If I keep his chin, okay, I'm going to sit up and I'm going to wrench his head, and not only wrench his head, but peel his back towards me and try to crunch him like this in half. You feel that?
Yeah, I did.
And it sucks, and I don't want to do it too much to him, but I'm going to turn his head sideways and then hold his ribs, his hips down here and try to fold him in half. And when I do that with his head sideways, it creates so much pressure. Guys aren't even choking, they'll just panic and tap a lot of times.
Yeah. Try to pin themselves too, but in a wrestling match.
Oh yeah, in a wrestling match, it's a quick fall.
Shoulders on the ground.
If you get a guy's arms up like this in a wrestling match, they're pinned because you can't bridge, you can't pick a shoulder up like that. Okay, when their one arm's down, they can lift that shoulder up. As soon as you push their arms up this way, their shoulders physiologically cannot come up off the mat. Let's spin with you. A little more. Actually, I went the long way. Right there. Okay, the next one, I'm going for a straight cement job. This will be, we'll tie it up with this one. Is that all right? Okay, I go for a straight cement job. Okay, and we're going to wind up rolling right towards you, so you might have to be mobile. I go for the straight cement job. He's going to pull his elbow down. Okay, so if I get this guy here, now let me get it a little bit. Let me get this. There we go. Okay, now this is where it kind of sucks, because if he goes for cement, if I go for cement and he grabs my elbow, grab that elbow, and he pulls it down, and I don't get it now, I have nothing and I can't even get out of here. Okay, so what Northampton coaches came up with, I'm pretty sure they pretty much invented this, was you reach across and grab that wrist. Okay? And when I reach across and grab that wrist, now my opponent can't let go. So I just took a guy who's saying, I'm going to counter your move, and I said, okay, now you're stuck with that decision. So by grabbing that, he can't post. He has no post to that side. So what they started doing is rolling, and the guy can't post anything out. As soon as you roll through, you hip up and over top of the opponent, and you're right back in the same position. Okay, so it's a pretty brilliant counter to the counter. And this was like the evolution of the cement job in the Lehigh Valley. So what we got here is a straight cement job. He pinches down, I grab his wrist. He has nothing from stopping me. Try to stop me from rolling here. Could you do anything?
No.
You're totally defenseless. You know, maybe stick a leg way out there. But it's totally, you're totally vulnerable if I catch that wrist. So you do is lift for a cement job, and then grab his wrist and roll. Let me show you the roll part one more time, the dynamics, the footwork. Obviously, the faster you do it, the better. But you don't want to do it so fast the guy rolls back to his belly. So you got to be able to pull the e-brake when he's on his back. Okay, so, and then that happens by punching. Okay, so you're going to take the cement job, lift it up, he pulls it down, I grab that wrist. Now when I roll, I'm going to put my head right in this hole right here. Okay, right here. And I'm going to high leg over, kind of like flip my legs. So where my left one is, my right one will go, and vice versa. Okay? And right now is where I'm going to take this arm and straighten it. Okay? I want to punch that deep. I don't want it to stay here, because if he gets a chance to keep my arm bent, go ahead, pinch your arm forward. What that means is he's fighting back to his belly. The second I hit the roll, I want my arm straight. Now fight back to your belly. He has no chance because it's a straight arm. So I already beat his counter. And now in this position, you can take your time, lift his arms up, and get him where you want him before you go ahead and finish your cement job here. It's pretty tight. You feel my ribs in the side of his face and sort of right here. If I get his chin, I could turn him and twist him and pinch, okay? Or if he lets go, I'm gonna wanna try to turn his face into my ribs and kind of smother him, okay? And start squeezing real tight. You good?
Yep.
Okay. Can't you do this and lay to your side?
That's the anaconda, yeah, that's a choke,
Okay.
that's legal.
And then the other thing I was always wondering is, and we used to do this in high school a bit, you take your hand and you put it, you make a fist, but you put it underneath his chin, okay? And then you start pulling up on his arm. You feel that?
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa.
Matt Hughes, good wrestler, put a guy out like that.
Did he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
same thing. Just
So
that-
we thought of that in a summer, at a summer clinic at Talon, me and Brad Dillon.
Can you do the last one again when his arms are both up, just really quick? I just want to show you something.
Mm-hmm.
So just flip over.
He's like,
Sorry,
I thought
they-
we were Brad.
Like, okay, so you got his hands up, whatever.
Yeah,
right
I
there,
hear.
right? So, see this arm? Get your leg over his arm, like, right there. Just hold it. Now put him back on his back, and get his other arm on the other side of your head. Alright, so now use this arm to block this arm over there, like over, and free your other arm, just start pushing him in the face. Just sit on him.
Oh, okay.
That's Matt Hughes, right? That's
Matt
how
Hughes
he
does that
finished
one a lot,
BJ
too.
Penn. But he
Okay,
actually
I
grabbed
gotcha.
under.
He underhooks there and you just pound him in the face. That was pretty good.
Yeah.